Hello, welcome to Microservices Deployment Series Part 4. In this series, we are going to learn how to deploy microservices into local Kubernetes using KinD and package manager Helm chart. In our previous lessons, we have already discussed how to containerize the applications using Docker and deploy it into Docker containers using Docker CLIs and Docker Compose. Also, we have discussed in the second and third lessons how to deploy the microservices into local Kubernetes using Minikube and KinD. We have discussed two ways how to deploy the microservices. The first one by deploying it using the kubectl commands called imperative way, and the second one is declarative way by using the configuration manifest files. So today we'll focus how we can deploy these microservices into KinD by using Helm chart. So, uh, like the previous lessons, I have taken the same four microservices. The microservices includes order service, product service, storefront, and Rabbit message queue. We have already discussed how to install the kubectl because in these lessons also we are going to use kubectl for deploying the microservices into the local cluster KinD. So you can go through that, or you can um, view the previous lessons how we have done. I mean, how we have used these kubectl commands to deploy the microservices. Also, in the previous lesson, we have discussed how we can deploy the KinD cluster, and we have used the different KinD commands to deploy those microservices. So let's discuss what is this Helm. So Helm chart, it is simply a package manager for the Kubernetes. So what is package manager? Means it will help in deploying, managing, and operating the applications on Kubernetes. So it will create a set of deployment manifest files and some configuration values. So it means it is simply some templates, and that template values need to be replaced with some actual values from the values.yaml file. So we'll discuss how we can create a, uh, a Helm chart and how these templates, it can be your deployment YAML file or service YAML file, and how these templates values will be replaced by using the values from the values.yaml file. So this Helm chart, basically it has three components. It mainly the Helm chart itself, and it maintains the releases. I mean, when we deploy these Helm charts uh, into the cluster, so that instance basically it will call a release, and it will keep history of the releases. So that is one advantage of using Helm chart, and we can revert back to the previous release as well if something wrong happens. Helm repository, it is the storage where we can keep the Helm charts for distribution or in future use. And if you see the features of the Helm chart, it is a package manager using mainly it does the management of it mainly manage the Kubernetes application by doing these activities like installing, upgrading, and rolling back to the previous state. Also does the release management. It keeps history of the releases and configuration management by using the values.yaml file. So configuration means if you have if there are multiple environments, right? So in that scenario, we can create multiple values.yaml file with respect to the environment, so that we can keep different configuration for different environments. Okay, so before to that, we need to install the Helm chart. So for that, you can simply refer this URL, and you can go the steps from there, and you can install this to your respective system. So there are different ways to deploy it in different systems, like it may be your Mac system, Windows, or Linux systems. Okay, so we can follow these steps and install this Helm chart. Once that is done, then we can go and you can see there are many commands are available to use Helm. Uh, the general commands here are Helm, Help, or you can see Helm version, Helm environment. So I have noted down all these commands here. You can go and play with this once you install the Helm chart, and you have the and you have created the uh, Helm chart itself. Okay, after deploying the Helm chart, you have to create a Helm chart, and you need to um, use these different commands to explore more about it. So we'll discuss all this, how we can use these commands by taking examples. So before to that, you can see uh, before we have already discussed like what is Helm repository. It's nothing, it is a store to distribute the Helm chart, or we can also, there are couple of public repositories are available. We can download our required Helm chart from there straight away, and we can use it. Okay, so for that, if you see, there are different public repository like Bitnami or Artifact Hub, Ingress, NJK, Nginx, and Grafana, Prometheus. These are couple of public repository, and this repository has already there are some Helm charts are available. For example, if you want to deploy some databases like MySQL or anything like Nginx, etc., then you can go to this repository itself, pull those Helm chart, and try to deploy it into the cluster. Okay, so for that, if we can check, for example, let's use one example how we can use Bitnami repository to uh, to deploy a Nginx Helm chart to create a Nginx application. Okay, so for that, what you can do is you can use this. This is the repository URL for the Bitnami repository. So you can use Helm repo add Bitnami to use this repository. So you can go to this and directly execute this. So it is already there because previously I have added this. Then if you see, we can update that. So it will update with whatever the latest packages, right? It will um, yeah, it will download all the available packages to the respective repository. You can see here, these are all different repositories that I have used here. Okay, so like Ingress, NGX, and Grafana, Prometheus, Stable, and Bitnami. Okay, so these are different repositories. So next, we can suppose you want to see what are the different packages. I mean, Helm charts are available that we can use. We can find by using the Helm search repo Bitnami. So it will display all the Helm charts are available in this repository. You can see there are many packages available. You can see here. You can see also Nginx and MySQL. Okay, so those you can see here. MySQL is available, Nginx is available. We can use this if you want directly from this repository. Okay, suppose you want to use uh, want to install this. So if you want to install the Nginx, then what you can do, we can use Helm install. Uh, the name of the release you can mention like my Nginx, and it will download from the Bitnami Nginx package or the Helm chart. Okay, so let me just deploy this, install this. Okay, it will take few seconds to do that. You can see here it they just installed it. It is deployed, revision is one, and chart name is Nginx. Okay, this is the Helm chart that got deployed. Okay, next, if you want to see what the uh, if we want to see the status of this release, what we just now deployed, right? If you want, you can use this command. You can use this command here, Helm status. So you can see Helm status MySQL. So it will show the details here. Okay, next, if you want to see what are the different releases available, what we have all packages or the Helm charts we deploy, it will show. So you can see here, there is, yeah, MySQL previously it was there, and we have just deployed my nginx here. Okay, so there are two releases or two packages are deployed into the cluster. And in some cases, suppose you want to, okay, suppose you want to customize it. Okay, if you want to customize, then what you can do is you can also get the values. Okay, for example, you want to because it is deployed with a default values.yml file. I mean, taking the values from the values.yml file, and it deployed that package. Suppose you want to customize, then in that case, what we can do, we can use this command here. Okay, and for that, before to that, we can just modify it. Okay, so it can we have used this is the command nginx, right? We can use show values, and this is our image. Okay, and if you want to take the default values, for example, we want to store into my values.yml file. Okay, we can get that values using this command. So you see here, it create one file here. Okay, you can see. So these are the default values here. Okay, and if you want to customize it, and I mean you want to modify anything here, and using that we can also install it, or you can upgrade the existing one, whatever you have previously deployed. Okay, so if you want to upgrade that, then what you can do is just uh, you can use this command here. Okay, so what you need to do is you can go here, and again Helm install, or we can do, because we have already did this, right? So we can upgrade it. Our release is this one, my nginx. Okay, so we have to use my nginx. And what is my value start, because I need to change anything here, something I'll change here. For example, let me check replica. So replica is 1 is there, let me make it 5 here, for example, just check the changes. So next what I have to do is okay, so yeah, so Helm upgrade my nginx, and I need 5 replicas of the nginx pod. So for that, what I can do is uh, I have to modify this values.yml file. I mean, I want to customize that. Then I have to upgrade it because I have already installed. Okay, so let me upgrade this. So we'll use Helm upgrade, and we have this my nginx. So it got upgraded, and the revision it created too. Okay, now if we'll just try to list it out again. Okay, Helm list, we can see 2 releases, but if you want to display how many pods are there, then we can just use get pod. So you can see here it created 5 instances or replicas of the my nginx pod. Okay, so this way what we can do, suppose you want to deploy any existing packages that are available in the public repositories, we can use by adding that repository by using the uh, helm repo add command. Okay, by specifying the url, then simply do the update so that it will take all the latest available images or packages. Then whatever by search you can find out what in packages you are looking for, and you can deploy that. And if you want to customize it, then get that value using this command, like helm show values, and download that my values. You can specify any name here. I just mentioned my hyphen values.yml, but you can mention any name here, and it will create this, it will get that default values.yml file. Okay, here if you want to modify anything, we can modify and upgrade it to update that new changes, or to take the new values whatever you modified in the values.yaml and redeploy or install into the cluster. Okay, so this way we can do that. So this is just to customize the uh, Helm chart. Okay, so this way, so this is one example that we have done by using the Bitnami repository, and there is other repository like stable repository. We can use this. For example, if we want to use, we can uh, use this. And for example, here I try to deploy this MySQL. I mean the MySQL to the cluster. Okay, so that we can do. I have mentioned the steps here. You can follow this and try to deploy it into your local cluster. Okay, so this is one way. If you want to run any applications, available applications or services, and that are already there in the repositories, we can directly use it. Okay, no need to create it again by creating our docker images and writing manifest file for this and deploying it into the cluster. So instead of that, directly we can get the Helm packages, Helm charts, and deploy it into the cluster using the Helm install or Helm upgrade. Okay, next step is that is for the existing readily available packages. But what about if we have our own microservices? Suppose we want to deploy our own microservices by using Helm chart. So for that, how we can do? So in order to do that, for that we can use the command like you can see here, create Helm chart. You can see here there is a command called repositories. Okay, package publishing. Okay, you can see here Helm create and chart name. So using this, we can create your own Helm chart. Okay, so for that, let's go to use some example. Okay, so here, in order to create that, you can use simply this Helm create, and you can give one name. Okay, so any name you can provide here. Okay, suppose for example, let me just create one using this. So let me execute. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, now you can see it got created here. As soon as I execute this command, it created a chart with name my chart, and under this you can see there are different components. The main component is charts. Okay, under this you can see, now the main component is template. Under template we can see we have these manifest files. We can see this is the deployment manifest file and service manifest file. So there are others like ingress and horizontal pod. Okay, so we can see this these are ingress, and there is also service uh, and service account. So there are different templates are available, but mainly we'll just focus this deployment and service ML. Okay, so here you can see this is just a template, and these values basically it is taking from the values.yaml file. Here you can see there is a values.yaml file, and under this what are the variable and its corresponding values are mentioned under this in this file. Okay, and these values will be dynamically replaced in these templates. Okay, so for example, in deployment, if you go, we can see image. Okay, so the image, this is a template basically. Okay, and this value will be replaced with by taking the values from the values. This you can see here, this values, this is basically referring to the values.yaml file, then image and repository. Okay, image and repository. So what it will go to here, and under this it will go to image under that repository. So this value nginx it will take. So what it will replace here, it will simply this basically pointing to the nginx. Okay, and the values image tag, So under this, again, if you see values, image, then tag. So tag, it is empty. We can put something like, suppose we can say latest, or if you have any uh, your own images, then you can put 1.00, whatever the version is there. Okay, you can mention that. So this way, what it does is basically the values. Here we declare all the variables that we need to replace in our deployment or the service YAML file. Okay, and using this, once that is created, then we can simply deploy it. So how we can deploy? So this example, whenever we create by using Helm create mind chat, for example, it will create a sample uh, Helm chat for using the nginx. Okay, so you can see here under the values, you can see it mentioned the repository and the name of the image is nginx. Okay, so it will create a nginx. So in order to do that, suppose whether it is working or not, how we can test it? So in order to do that, what I can do is I can go and execute this, like for example Helm install. What I can do is Helm install. Then let me take an example, uh, test nginx, test nginx, and where which package it will use? It will use my chat. Okay, so it is under online store. So for that, how I can use is this, then my chat. Okay, so this is the command that we need. So what it will do? It will use this chat to deploy this into the cluster. Okay, so here we are using KinD cluster, and the cluster name is KinD, the default cluster we have created here. Okay, so now in order to execute, right, if we execute this, you can see it created a test nginx. Okay, and so this is the release name, and uh, it deployed one nginx again to the cluster. So if we see Helm list, so it will show all the releases. Previously it was there my MySQL and my nginx. Now we just created test nginx. So this is the new release we have created. Okay, and if you go and see what are the different pods that got created, right, then you can see get pod. Okay, you can see now you can see this is the pod for the test nginx release. Okay, yeah, so this way you can create your own uh, own Helm chart. But if you see here, it is said by default it will create a Helm chart for nginx, but we need to change or modify this to to fit to our own microservices. If we see, we are here, we are using four. We can create our own Helm charts. Here we have our services like order service, product service, and storefront service, and rapid message queue service. So for that, we need to create our own Helm charts. Then, for if we want to create for these four microservices, then we need to use this command, like uh, we can use this command helm install, sorry, helm create. First we can use, yeah, you can use this helm create, yeah, helm create and your chat name. Okay, for example, you have order, product, and rapid message queue. Okay, and after that, again we have to modify this, like if you go here, this deployment, right, whatever we need to change with respect to our values. Okay, so it will be a bit difficult work to do for each of these services. Okay, so there is another way. If we have already existing manifest files, as you know, in our previous lessons, we have a manifest folder, and here we have already created our own manifest files. Okay, the deployment and the service YAML files for each of the services. So what we can do, we can use another tool that is called Helmify. So that Helmify, what it can do, it will take input of these existing manifest files, and using this, it will create the Helm chart for us. Okay, so that will be easy way to do um, uh, to to create the Helm charts if we have already in our own uh, mm, the configuration files. Okay, so let me just delete this as we don't want this one. Okay, and yeah, so let me delete that. So what we can do, I can do is I need to create the Helm chart for these or five services, four services and one configuration on the config map. So for that, I need to create the Helm charts. So in order to do that, what we can do, you can refer this link. There is the binaries are available. You can just install to your local system, and using that, you can use this helmify command to the mm, convert the manifest files to the Helm chart. Okay, so for that, what we can do is helmify. Then we have to specify the file name where this file name is available. The file name is available under manifest config. You can see here this is available under manifest. Under this manifest config, order, product, rabbit message, storefront. These are available here. Okay, and the name where it will create under, it will create a charts folder, and under this charts folder it will, under this subfolder it will create these charts. Okay, I mean, um, the config chart will be created under charts config folder. Okay, so we'll see how it is creating by executing these commands. Okay, so let me do that. So I have already one charts folder here. Okay, so previously I have created, but let me do modify it. Let me just make it test chart. Okay, another folder, let me into it. So I don't want to override that one because after changes there required a small modification, so that I have already done. So I don't want to override that. So let me create with another folder test, or we can, it's fine, let me just to show it how I can do it. Okay, let me execute one by one. Okay, so if we see here, uh, it got created here. Okay, test charts, and under this it created all these helm chart for the respective uh, manifest files. In our manifest file there is config folder, and here there is a YAML file. For order there is, these are the YAML files. Okay, it uses these YAML files and created the helm chart for this. You can see it created the helm chart here. Under template you can see config. Okay, it, and for order you can see under templates it created the order deployment and service deployment. Okay, so this way it created everything. And yeah, so this is very easy way that we can reuse our manifest file if you want to convert them to the Helm chart, uh, and we want to deploy by using Helm chart instead of the raw manifest files. Okay, so what I observed, this works fine, but in some cases this services has some, create some issue. So what I did, I have done some changes in this services YAML files. Okay, and made it to work properly. Okay, so if we see here, uh, so we can see what changes I have done. So you can create your own test Helm charts here, and what changes I have done that you can compare with under this charts file. Mostly I have not modified anything to the deployment YAML file. Only I am modified in the order service. Okay, so that you can just compare and you can see it. Okay, yeah. So then this is also, we don't want, I'm just deleting it. Okay, and we don't want this copies one also, let me delete it. Okay, so this charts is available. Then what we can do is, we have all this. Before that, let me delete everything whatever running in my Kubernetes. So for that, what I can do is k delete all minus all. So let me delete everything what is running. And I have already also running few releases here. um, so if you see, what are the releases, basically is Helm Helm list. Okay, you can see these are all still there. How I can delete this? I can do it Helm uninstall, Helm uninstall, and we can mention the name here to uninstall that. Okay, similarly, what I can do nginx also I can delete. Okay, then I'll delete test nginx as well. Okay, what is the name? Test engine. Okay, okay, now if you see Helm list, nothing is there. Okay, fine. So next what we can do, let's deploy all this. Once we have done this Helmify, so what it does basically, once we create this Helmify, right, it will create the Helm chart for us. So these are the charts it created. Okay, so it created the charts. I just modified some of these templates, mostly in the mainly in the uh, service YAML file. Okay, and then we can, once we modify that, then what we can do is we have to install this. Okay, let me install everything. So what it will do, it will create the releases for each of these services. Okay, deploy into the cluster. So it let me execute everything all together. So it will do one by one. Okay, you can see everything got created. Okay, revision one for the default uh, release name. Okay, so we can see that Helm list. You can see these are the releases just now we have created. And if you want to see the pods, right, you can use, here I'm using the default namespace. Okay, by default it is taking the default namespace and deploying to the pods there. Okay, so it shows that container is creating. It will take a couple of minutes. Just wait for that. And once we install that, right, we can upgrade that. If you want to change something by changing the values.yaml file, then we can do that by using upgrade. For example, any one of these, for example, the product, this one, and here if replica is 1, now suppose I want to make it replica 5 or 2. Okay, so in that case I'll change this, then I have to go and run this Helm upgrade, this one. Okay, I cannot do install because it is already installed with that name. So we cannot install it again with that same name, but we need to use that same release to upgrade it. Then you have to use this Helm upgrade and the same name. Okay, you have to the same name and the same image or the chat. Okay, let me check whether it is running. Still the order is waiting for the rabbit message queue to be order to be ready. Okay, so just wait another few minutes. Then after that we can just port forward the storefront and we'll see whether we are able to access the um, application or not. Okay, the other thing is that we can also, because as we know, the advantage of Helm chart is that we can package it and you can distribute it. Okay, we can also save it in the repository, and the others uh, they can also download that and they can reuse it. Okay, so for that what we can do, we can package those. If you want to, we can package those Helm chart. Okay, so in order to package, what they can do, like the command is Helm package, and this is the path from where it will take the Helm charts, and it will package with a name. So the name, what it will take, if you are not mentioning, you can mention a name here for a package. If you are not mentioning, then what it will do is, for example, storefront, we have a chat YAML, it has a name here. Okay, and we have a version here. So it will take this name as default and this version as a default and create the package name using this. Okay, so let's see we can how it happens. You can see by executing this. Let me execute this to package all these Helm charts. Now you can see it is creating, just now it created config hyphen 010 order hyphen 010 product hyphen and a rabbit message queue. So if you see here, the name is order hyphen 010. So where it took from the name, from the chart, the name is order and the version is 010. Okay, 010. But if you want to give a name, something different, right? We can just specify the name here. For example, you can put your own name, so it will use that name and create the package. Okay, but I have taken from there, from the mm, chat YAML file. Okay, so once that is there, we can push this. We can push your local repository, like suppose local private repository, or you can also push it into the GitHub as well. Okay, you can GitHub repository, I mean the GitHub content registry, you can also push it. Okay, that will see how we can do that. Let me just do this last one. Okay, that got created. Now let me again get the forward. Now you can see everything is running properly. Now what I can do, just do the port forward again. Sorry, it's not copied properly. Let me copy again. Do the port forward. Okay. Now if we'll go to the browser and just try to browse it localhost edge, you can see application is running. Similarly, if you want to see it from the command line, you can do that. Okay, curl hst localhost colon edge. Okay, you can see this what it shows from the storefront HTML file. Okay, so this way it is now working, and the application is running. Next, we'll see how we have already packaged this, and if you want to push it to the Docker GitHub, how we can do is we can just log into your GitHub, and before to that we have to create a GitHub token. Okay, so I'm not explaining how we can do that one. You can just Google it. There will be many information online will be available how to create a token to use to authenticate to the GitHub. So we can get. So I have created my GitHub token, and you can export it. Okay, so you can see here. If you see, I have my token somewhere. I copied here. Okay, so here you can copy your, you can create your token, and you can just like, you can export it with my username. You can directly export it. Similarly, you have to export your GitHub token. Okay, and you have to log in. So you can use this command. Okay, after exporting this token, it will automatically log into the GitHub. Okay, once that is done, what you can do is, since you can see here we have this all these packages are available now, and we want to push it into the GitHub repository by using the Helm push. Okay, so this is Helm push the command. This is my package. It is in the uh, my local folder, and this we have to mention OCI. This is the GitHub container registry, GitHub container registry IO, and this is my username. This is we have to mention, and it will copy under this chat. We have to create, it will create a folder, online store chat. We can give any name. Under this, it will copy all these packages. Okay, so let me do that. If you see, if you go to my repository here, not GitHub, okay, and GitHub, okay, here if you go to GitHub packages, I don't have anything here. Okay, now let me just push this. Let me push all these packages. So it is trying to push. Okay, and let me refresh this now. You see, they got created. It is online under online store charts, and it's creating config order rabbit message queue. If you go there, right, under this online charts, it's creating. Okay, so it got created, everything pushed, and if you go here, you can see all this just now got created. And for example, you want to see order, you can see the version is 010. Okay, you can also, suppose you want to use it, then what you can do, we can pull it. Okay, you can pull using this command. Okay, in order to pull that, you have to mention the path helm pull, and this is the path. It is stored under this folder, and the whatever the name, what chat you want to download, config rabbit message queue order or something, and you have to mention the version. It may be there in multiple version. That particular version you have to mention. Okay, this way we can also download. Let me just download one. We can download and you can use it. Okay, online store chat or CI. Something wrong here. Let me do that. You can see it is bold. Okay, we can get it. Okay, so this way we can download it. We can push it into our Azure Content Registry or even the Elastic Content Registry of uh, uh, and any other available service provider registry. Okay, yeah, this way we can do. And if you want to uninstall, right, if we see Helm list, you can see everything here running. And if you want to uninstall it, you can do uninstall. But if you want to upgrade it, right, so as I discussed, you can just change any values.yml file and do the upgrade. Just execute this upgrade command here. You can use this upgrade command here. Which values.yml file you are changing for that service, you have to use and try to check that. Okay, by simply changing any replica values. So let me at the end, what we can do is we can uninstall that also. Okay, we can use this command. It is uninstalling everything. So we cannot see anything now. If you see get pod, terminating, all everything is getting terminating, and rabbit message is getting terminated now. And if you type Helm list, there is no releases. Okay, no releases. Yeah, so that's all for today. But there are a lot of things are still there, that how we can do release management by using rollback and all, that you can go through these comments that I have already listed down. Okay, thank you so much for watching the videos. Please subscribe it, share it to your friends and colleagues, and in our next lab we'll discuss something new. And this what we have done, we can also do by we can deploy into the local Minikube local cluster. Same thing, we can just uh, use the Minikube for the local cluster, and we can deploy using this Helm chat. Okay, that's all. So thank you so much, and bye bye. See you.